Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the world's biggest stars and some of my favourite people, and a man who has made it big across the other side of the pond. He was born in Nottingham and he joins us on the phone now. He's got a new series, The Last Ship, which is on Sky One currently, and Craig Young joins us now. How are you doing, Craig?
I'm great, thanks.
It must be marvellous being you. Not only are you delicious, but you've got a career. I mean, these are two things that, well, I don't have for a start.
Come on, I'm sure you do.
You've done proper films, proper TV, you're a star in LA, and you're a working actor. That's the key, isn't it? Being an actor's one thing, but working's another.
You know, it's hard to keep working. It's like you take every day as it comes, I think. Every job that I get is a new blessing, seriously. It's, I'm very lucky to, you know, get the jobs that I get and be able to continue working. It's really nice.
It always amazes me how difficult and competitive your game is. I mean, anybody can do radio, we can all talk, but it really is one man's...
I can do radio, honestly. I can do your job. I don't know how you, think of things on the spur of the moment. Like, I would be just full of ums and ahs.
Yeah, well, I do that as well. But the thing is, you see, you've got one man sat there who will decide your destiny, who can make you a star or make you unemployed. You've got to have sort of a large backbone to put up with all that for a long career, haven't you?
You know, I made rejection a friend of mine. Because there's a lot of it. It's like, you know, I go for lots and lots of different things and you get very close down to the wire and, you know, a lot of the time you don't get the job and you just have to realise that it's sort of a roller coaster and take it on the chin a bit and not make it mean anything, you know, because we deal with it on a daily basis, and you know a lot of people deal rejection a few times in their life, in the careers that they choose and the job interviews that they go on, but it's sort of a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
So it's sort of bittersweet, you know, when you do get those jobs, it's kind of, you know, makes it all the worthwhile.
Help me with the bitterness of it, because I spoke to Joe Pasquale's son, Joe Tashini, last week, and he was going to be Harry Potter. He was the next in line after Daniel Radcliffe. How do you ever recover from that blow? Because that's got to be difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, the closer you get, the harder it burns. you know, it sort of stings. But yeah, you know, sometimes you just have a little bit of a cry in the pillow. You know, I've had a few of those moments, and I have a couple of nemesises out there that, you know, always come in and steal the job from under my nose.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just kind of like, you know, you bury your head in the pillow, and then the next day you have to pick yourself up and get on with it and suck it up.
The good news is, though, you get lots of roles and you've done incredibly well for yourself. That moment when the phone rings and they give you the gig, I guess there's no better feeling. That's the antithesis to what we've just been talking about.
Yeah, you know, and it's sort of I call it like the butterfly moment. You know, when the phone rings and it's your agent and they say, guess what? You got it. You know, it's like, yes! And you kind of have a little silly dance in whatever room I'm in at that time.
Yeah.
Whether it's a hotel room or my own bedroom or someone else's bedroom. Just kidding. But yeah, you know, it's a great feeling. It really is. Like getting that job. And then that's when the work starts, you know. It's getting the job is one thing, but then preparing for a role is another, you know. And I love that. I love the whole research and delving into characters and bringing something to life is really sort of exciting to me.
Yeah, you mentioned they're dancing in other people's bedrooms. I don't get a lot of that because I'm a deeply unattractive man. What's it like being a sex symbol?
A sex symbol? I have no idea. Well, maybe when I was a lot younger and I was in a band, you know, it's silly, really, isn't it? It's kind of, and it's all subjective. It's like some people think I'm dog ugly, and other people think that I'm a dreamboat. I don't know. It's like it's weird. It's all subjective.
Do you take any of that stuff seriously? I mean, I see online somebody puts 1 million pictures of you in every different position and pose from everything you've ever done. Somebody cares. Is that creepy or a compliment?
Oh, it's a compliment. You know, obviously, that somebody takes the time to do that. I mean, it's flattering. You know, absolutely. I think it's you know, it can't be Can it be? I guess it could be sort of perceived as a little bit creepy, but for me, I think it's a nice gesture.
Well, when it happened to me last, it was on the Crime Watch website, which was slightly depressing, but there you are. You started off in Nottingham, born in Nottingham, raised in Nottingham. It's a big jump to end up in LA. It's a silly question in a way, because there's no answer to it, but how do you do that? For any actor who's waking up this morning in Clifton thinking, I want to be a star, how do you get that trajectory? Because it's almost impossible, and it's certainly the American dream, isn't it?
Well, you know, I think it's about the work, to be honest. I don't think it's about, you know, I want to be a star. I mean, I think for me it was all about just doing good work and finding those avenues to be able to do, you know, to continue to work as an actor. I think that's sort of a slippery slope if you're kind of looking at it to get into the business to be a star. Because you know, you might end up on a reality show, which is great, you know, and then but that's sort of fleeting, isn't it? I think I think if you make your objective to do good work as an actor, then you know that will be able to carry you and sustain you.
You do something rare, which is really interesting, that you've had a lot of really funny comedy roles, but you've equally had some really strong, proper acting roles. That sort of puts you in a unique category, because there aren't many people who do that.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for doing your research. But yeah, you know, I love both, and people. I often get asked the question. You know, you've done theatre, you've done film, you've done television. What's your favourite? And for me, there isn't really a favourite. It's and the same with comedy and drama. You know, it's all about creating characters, and that's what I love. That's what turns me on in terms of acting. You know, and I love it when I get a comedy job, and you know, equally I love it when I'm doing drama. So, you know, for me, it's really the essence is just creating characters.
I noticed you do a very good impression of a camp judge. I wondered if it was modelled on Simon Cowell. That was a good clip.
Actually, it was more like Bruno from Strictly Come Dancing.
Yes. It seems to me the biggest thing in your career to begin with was the MTV gig, which brought you to a completely different audience, probably a younger audience. That was back in 2001. Was that the moment when you thought, my God, I'm actually potentially going to make it here? Because MTV is huge, isn't it? You know,
I sort of... In terms of making it's part of the journey. It's part of your personal journey. Like whether, you know, when does that stop? When do you feel like you've actually? It's a good conversation. Like when do you feel like you've actually made it? You know, it's all part of your personal journey. And for me, moving to Los Angeles and doing Spyder games was obviously a moment that I look back on and reflect and go, yeah, that was a defining moment in my career.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously helped launch me in Los Angeles. But you know, in terms of making it, I'm still on that journey. You know, it's like I don't think as artists we can always be completely satisfied.
I know. I worry about that though, because I've got friends in the business who are doing amazing things, and they're always looking in front of them and next, yeah. And you're never sort of present and embracing the fact that this could be the most magical time of your life, and you're sort of missing it. It makes me worried that you sort of this business churns you in and churns you out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can, and I think that's why it's important to sort of live your life. You know, don't make your whole life about career. I think it's great to be focused and you know, dedicated, but you have to live a life as well, because otherwise you have nothing to bring to the table in terms of you know, that understanding life, to be able to pull up and draw upon that to put into your work. So, you know, and you have to enjoy the journey. I mean, it's all about the journey. It's not about the end result.
Does it ever become normal when you switch on the TV and there you are poking out of it?
Poking out at them, that's funny. You know, it's, yeah, I mean, subjective. It's all, you know...
It's a big jump, though, isn't it? From a lad from Clifton to suddenly being on Sabrina or, I don't know, Teenage Witch or any of those programs, the District. I mean, these are big shows and you're on it and you see your face. That's got to be a strange feeling.
Not really, because living in Los Angeles, they're usually all in the...
Becomes very normal.
It's sort of a normal occurrence.
Who was the person you met who you thought, wow, that's incredible? Are you starstruck?
Yes, like sort of secretly, though. You know, like kind of, I don't make a show, but for me, like inside, I'm dying a little bit.
I was like that the first time I met Sue Pollard. You know, I mean, these moments can pass you by.
Isn't she from Nottingham?
She is, yes. I think she's from Clifton. She's the second biggest star from Clifton after you. It's amazing.
Torval and Dean.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Torval and Dean are the most famous people from Nottingham.
It is strange, though, isn't it, when you meet people that you've seen on the telly and suddenly they're talking to you and it's perfectly normal. Acting normal isn't as easy as you think.
I somewhat black out a little bit. Like, you know, like when I meet someone famous, they always say don't meet your idols, but, you know, when I meet someone famous, I'm sort of like looking in their eyes and not hearing the words they're saying.
Yeah, it's a bit peculiar. And then you're now on Sky One with this new programme, The Last Ship. Tell us about that. It's airing throughout the summer.
Yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic show about an airborne virus that wipes out 80% of the planet, based on a book of the same name. And I play Declan, who is a sonar operator of a nuclear submarine that's full of random internationals that are we're called the immunes, people that were the 20% that were immune to the virus. And we're trying to take down this U.S. destroyer ship, which is the last ship, in the ocean, because they've created a cure, and to cure the population and make sure that it kind of continues. However, we think that we're God's chosen ones, and this is God's way of culling the population, so we can start again and create this new brand new world. So you know, in the eyes of the Americans, we're sort of villains. In the eyes of God, or religious people, we're sort of radicals. So it's an interesting character. I kind of it was nice to kind of delve into the research on this and kind of get into some debates about the future and about life and existence.
Yeah. And there is an argument there could be something on its way that could wipe an awful lot of people out, some sort of bug. We've had SARS and all that stuff. It basically is taking that to the next level, that theology, that sooner or later going to be some disease or something that's going to wipe out the population. It almost happens cyclically, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the show's success, is that it's sort of possible, and I think people watch it and go, oh my God, that could happen. Obviously after the anthrax virus that went around, and then Ebola, I think that people are kind of like, oh wow, this is a possibility that can happen in our lifetime, so I think that's why people are sort of fascinated with it. Some
huge effects in this, and they've put a lot of money behind it. Is that thrilling to be part of something that's proper and big?
If you'd have seen my trailer, you probably wouldn't be saying that.
There's no glamour behind the set, is there?
It is great. I remember I was in my trailer at one point and sort of pinching myself and going, wow, here I am on a Hollywood sort of television set, and just about to do a scene with explosions and fighting and sparks, and it's kind of one of those moments where I'm like, yeah, here I am. I'm living the dream, man. Enjoy it. Take it all in. Yeah,
absolutely. It's on Sky One throughout the summer. It's called The Last Ship. Craig Young is our guest. Excuse me. Craig Young is our guest today. Very finally, then, for you, is it La La Land, working and then coming back for a bit of normality? Where's home?
Home is always going to be England. I think like when I'm there, I'm always talking about home, meaning Nottingham and where my family is and where I was born. But I've definitely made a life for myself in Los Angeles. which I love, and I have great friends, and my great relationship, and my dog. I love both. I guess I've got one leg in Los Angeles and one leg in Nottingham, and the world in between.
Congratulations. It's a remarkable story, and to have such huge success from really humble beginnings is incredible. You are living the dream, and I wish you all the best. It seems like your trajectory is just going from strength to strength, and as I say, being an actor is one thing, but a working actor is another, and you're constantly sort of doing this and that, and that's the key, isn't it? Keep working.
Yeah, exactly. Keep doing what you love, and don't get kind of bogged down with the minutiae and upset, and when you don't get that job, just put all that energy into the next audition, and just plod on.
Sky One's The Last Ship is the new show that's airing over the summer. It's having great reviews, and our guest today is Craig Young. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.